you the president to be 2016 during. By that time, the only thing I will do is to nationalize all resources. For example, electricity is given to the hands of individuals, but when it comes to the hand of the government, then you can make good use of it. Alright? And then individuals who have wealth that we don't know where they accumulated them from. That is the sign of corruption. Those people, they can easily be taxed highly, and that is during 2016. Yeah, we don't want to be a president. So, I don't want to be a president, so I want to be a president advisor, such that if any president comes in and does anything that make us astray from the program of getting industrialized or developing economically, I can advise that president. For example, today if I'm to advise President Museveni, I'll tell him to reduce on the disputes that we are having in Uganda, such that we reduce on the MPs and on that money that is wasted through corruption using those MPs.
If I was the president, I think I would first work on the curriculum system of the education sector, because I believe the education of Uganda is much theoretical than practical.
Why do you think other presidents are not so like you? I think this is a very new and unique idea.
I don't know, because the incompetence that we have in government and the people who are already working and the corruption and all that is that it's because Uganda has been, the education is so theoretical. If I was the president, by A level, a student would be already knowing what he wants to major in, so that by campus, you're in practice. But you cannot be in university and you're still reading to pass just an exam.
Now I've been given an opportunity to explain if I'm given the post of presidency. In Uganda, as I've studied for this topic, most people, someone has talked of communism, but for me I want to buy it. But the first thing that you have to look at, like if you look at the NRM government, they overemphasize, it is me, I'm going to explain it. The NRM government overemphasized on the elimination of corruption. But then, they have been there for 26, it's now going to be 26 years, but they have not. So for the case of me, I would first admit the term limits in government. Though Andrew Mwenda has criticized the term limits, still I can defend the term limits. In Uganda, the reason as why corruption is growing day by day, it is the reason, it is the fact that people have overstayed in offices and power, so they know all the tricks of chewing that money.
The early Christian converts that Mwanga ordered killed, who are now referred to as Uganda Martyrs, perhaps offer an array of insight into exactly what happened and why the Kabaka would put his obeying servants through such a terrible death. Politics was one of the reasons. But what about a clash of Western homophobia and African traditions? It is understood that transgender has particular roles for foretelling Mwanga's fate. They were believed to have special powers of talking straight to the ancestors that had passed on. Who are these Ugandan martyrs?
This is the Uganda Martyrs National Shrine. This is where some of the Uganda martyrs were burnt alive because of their Christian faith. The Uganda martyrs, before they were burnt in this place, they were workers, they were servants working for the king. Each family was selecting a very hard-working boy, well-disciplined. So the significance of this place in our faith, it is the center of spiritual renewal. People come from all walks of life to come and renew their faith through the intercession of the Uganda martyrs. The Uganda Matters has done a lot of miracles for our faithful world over. So every 3rd of June, people walk on foot from Kenya, from Tanzania, from Rwanda, from DRC, all these neighboring countries. People walk here, not because they don't have money, but to make a pilgrimage. By doing so, they go with a lot of blessings. By doing so, they get a lot of renewal spiritually. They grow in spirit. They emulate the martyrs in order to attain sainthood. So, not only that, on that day, our country, Uganda, living along the spiritual growth of the faithful, gains a lot of money. Because when people come, for instance, from South Africa, Ghana, Zambia, they pay for visas. So the government of Uganda earns through selling visas because of people are coming to make a pilgrimage here. The business here booms. Because when people come here, they buy food, they buy clothes, they buy souvenirs. And doing so, the Christians around, the residents around are getting money because of that day. The hotels industry, people book hotels when they are coming on matters. The martyrs who were killed here were 45. 22 Catholics and 23 Protestants. But before they were burnt, as I told you, they were workers. They were servants working for the king of Uganda. Each family was selecting a very hard-working boy, well-disciplined, to go and work for a king in a palace. It was a sign of showing loyalty. It was very prestigious to work for a king. Now, when they were converted to Christianity, they started practicing their Christian faith. And whenever they were practicing their faith, it was contradicting with the cultural norms to the extent that King Mwanga got annoyed and burnt them alive on the 3rd of June 1886. Because these people on Sunday, they were not working. They were telling the king, we are going for prayers. We're not going to work. The king thought they are becoming disobedient, and disobeying a king was enough to make you die. The way they were praying, let your kingdom come, when they are saying all this prayer, the king thought, which kingdom are they asking for? I'm the king. How can these people say their king is in heaven? He regarded them as rebels, and the treason was punishable by death. It was raining, lightning struck in the air and burnt the palace of the king. It was of grass. The moment the palace of the king got burnt, the king became scared. Why is my palace burnt? He went to consult the diviners, the wicked doctors. Why is my palace burnt? They told him the problem is with Christians. Those Christians in your palace have stopped worshipping our gods. They are worshipping gods of white men in your palace. Our gods are annoyed. That's why they have burnt your palace. You kill these people. If you don't kill them, you are dying. That's the advice the wicked doctors gave the king. And he took it seriously. He used to go for fishing, hunting. These boys were supposed to receive him. Some days he was coming back home when the people are not in the palace. They have gone for prayers, catechism, religious instructions. Now he thought, oh, they have shifted their loyalty, their new faith and the missionaries. Yet they were supposed to be loyal to the king all the time. They were telling him, you don't have powers to kill. You see, the king was killing. These boys were telling him, no, it is only God who has the powers of taking away life, not you.
So what is the theme for this year's celebration?
No longer I, but Christ who lives in me. And this year's celebration, it will be Kasana Lowero leading us.
So what is the implication of that theme?
Whatever you do, you do it emulating Jesus. No longer I, but Christ who lives in me. You are doing something reflecting Jesus who lives in you. That implies that if it is Jesus living in you, you do not steal, you do not kill, you do not do bad things. No longer I, but Jesus who lives in me is the drive factor who drives you to do whatever you are doing, whatever you are talking. You are focusing on Jesus. Long ago it was a swamp. The executioners, after executing people here, they were sloping down there to wash, to bathe, to cleanse themselves, refresh themselves, tell the ghosts, we don't have any problem with you. It is the king who told us to kill you, don't haunt us. Now when they were designing the place, they dug the lake. That's a man-made lake. They dug it because they wanted to celebrate Mass on big occasions like Martyrs' Day. So Martyrs' Day, 3rd of June, is a public holiday in Uganda. The bishops, the priests, they go in the basilica, they put on their vestments, they make a procession, and they go in the hut. The hut, you see, gets full of bishops and the priests. The pavilion on that side is for the sisters and the brothers.